And it's time for more Minecraft. It's let's see, 1,300. Man, I need to fucking move the cats. 1,336. So we need 40 more fishes, and then we are halfway to 2,700. Like so many cats. And then we have all the chickens also. So it's just back to the swimming. And I would say because of the fun, somewhat banned stuff from YouTube, I have some videos that I somewhat want to watch, and that's from the the Italy race that happened like yeah, when did that happen? There we have it. So like last month. So Autosport and P1's video about this race will be watched. But before that, the race have done something on video. The winners and the losers in F1 2024 development wars so far. And I would say Mercedes is the biggest loser. They're like all their I don't know if it's actually Toto Wolff that's saying that, but people from Mercedes, or maybe people that are just talking to Mercedes, just saying that they're doing a lot of progress, they'll get faster and everything, and then you see the racer they do, and they are nowhere. So let's see what
every team.
Oh shit, loud. Alpine, you can say, is also one big loser. Maybe Sauber, Stake F1 team, Kick Sauber can also look like a loser. I wouldn't say Williams, but they are half a loser. At least because how the start have been with all the crashes. But I would say Mercedes, because where they were and where they are now, like fighting for wins to not even be faster than McLaren. That's sad.
Team had big ambitions for their 2024 cars with the aim to fix problems and hold on to existing strengths. But that's easier said than done, and it's rare to get everything right in seeking that perfect
Mercedes got anything right.
Compromise. Formula One car development is not always a linear process, particularly under the current ground effect regulations. That's why a look at the performance traits of a team's current car compared to what they had in 2023 can reveal much about the development direction. Remember, a team losing out in the short term isn't always down to everything being worse. Sometimes it's part of a process that requires taking an immediate step backwards to allow big gains in the future. But
whoa. So Mercedes are They are working on the really far away future. They are going like from being P1. They went back. How many steps can that be? If we take teams, so from 1, so it's 1, 2, 3. So they're 3 steps back. You can say maybe 4, because Aston Martin can sometimes be better than Mercedes. At least last year. This year maybe not. And who knows, maybe Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team becomes better than Mercedes. Then they are 4 or maybe 5 steps back. And after that, then they can go forward maybe. But really weird way to do. Goes back to maybe go forward.
Performance is what matters most in F1, so here's our quickfire guide to who has won and lost in F1's development war so far.
Holy shit, I feel like it's still loud. So weird.
Winner, McLaren, improving its weak points. You get very different answers to the question of how the McLaren has changed this year depending on what point of comparison you use. That it has improved is an irrefutable fact, given its performance is better and it has racked up a massive 167 points more than this time last season. The early season McLaren in 2023 was lacking in downforce and pace, but a series of upgrade packages turned it into a consistent podium finisher. McLaren ended the season with a car that was...
And now they are a race winner. And where is Mercedes?
Standing in fast corners and struggled in slow turns, particularly long duration ones. But that weakness has improved this year, particularly with the upgrade introduced in Miami that led to a leap forward after a solid but unspectacular start to the season. But team principal Andrea Stella admits that's come as something of a surprise and points to an effect the team doesn't yet fully understand. Getting to the bottom of the reasons for that could point McLaren in the right direction on a journey to produce a strong all-round car that Stella previously said will take at least 1 year to complete. Loser, Alpine, everything is worse.
Let's see. I wonder why this order. And the McLaren, Alpine, Haas, Aston Martin, Williams, Ferrari, Mercedes, RB, Sauber, Red Bull. And they could maybe have done from the biggest loser to the slightly loser till the winners. But here it's really mixed. Well, I agree. Alpine somewhat, but not as big as Mercedes, in my opinion.
Alpine has pretty much traded all of the modest strengths of last year's car for weaknesses. There are at least signs of progress, but it's all about recovery and damage limitation with the car that was supposed to lay the foundations for big gains into 2025. The car started the season overweight, a legacy of the monocoque failing the lateral crash test, but that problem has now at least been tackled. It's also lacking in downforce and weak on traction. Unquestionably, it was the slowest car in the field early in the campaign. Things have improved a little since then, and it's now, on average, only the second slowest car, having moved ahead of Sauber.
Nice.
The worst of the troubleshooting is done, and team principal Bruno Fama says it's now time to switch to what he calls the second phase of development. The car is generally stronger in the faster corners than the slow speed ones. It's also understood that the arrival of new executive technical director David Sanchez has led to some new ideas being incorporated into the upgrade plan that it's hoped will accelerate the team's recovery. Winner, Haas, tyre chewer no more.
Okay. I don't think they missed anything about Alpine. And, well, they started with tires, so Haas have not that problem.
More. The Haas has gone from a tyre chewer last year to a car that works very well over race stints. While that...
The biggest problem Haas have is Kevin Magnussen. And he will probably, hopefully, will not be in the team next season.
That's partly down to the team's intense focus on how to optimise the way it runs the car. Fundamentally, it's down to the aerodynamic characteristics. Last year's Haas VF23 suffered from an aerodynamic instability at the rear. This year, the downforce created at the rear is vastly more consistent. According to technical director Andrea Desordo, that's the main improvement. This means less variation in aerodynamic load and makes for a more consistent car with better feeling. There's still a need to make the car a little stronger in the fast corners, as well as improve the front end downforce. And that will only enhance a car that's been strong enough to make Q3 4 times and score 7 points already in 2024. Loser, Aston Martin, tricky to drive. Last year's Aston Martin was strong at the start of the season, picking up 6 podiums in the first 8 events.
So yeah, Aston Martin, man. From being up there to not even getting points. Somewhat depressing. But still not the worst than Mercedes.
The car was very quick in the slow stuff in particular and was also a consistent, predictable machine. However, this year that's changed. In fact, that process started last year with upgrades that created some unwanted characteristics. The car is not so good in the slow corners and worst of all it seems to be sliding down the order. Lance Stroll refers to balance issues, specifically entry oversteer, mid-corner understeer and a car that isn't good over the...
Lance Stroll. I mean, the problems he have is like, can you really trust the problems? He will probably have this problem even if the car was good, so who knows.
Curbs. Fernando Alonso complains that the cars this year have become more critical in the search for downforce, making every team's cars more difficult to drive. And the Aston Martin seems to suffer from this problem more than most. That's a lot of problems and reflects a team that is struggling to add performance to the car consistently without impacting the characteristics negatively. And that's what makes its current situation so concerning, given it appears to have a problem of development direction. Loser, Williams, now an all-rounder. The 2024 Williams is a classic...
Wait, lose. The start, yes. All the crashes, yes. But making a car that are good in every race than just being good in some races, that you can say is a win.
Case of the need to go through some short-term pain for long-term gain. What's a loser right now looks set to be a big winner on a longer timeline.
Yeah, maybe not this season, maybe end of this season, but the next season maybe they're much more as a winner.
The main strength of last year's Williams was that it was low drag and therefore a rocket ship on the straights. It's given away that advantage this year, but for good reasons. It now has a car with the amount of downforce needed to be a serious midfield contender everywhere. That's reflected in the fact Alex Albon is a Q2 ever present, as well as reaching Q3 and scoring 2 points in Monaco. It's a less peaky car, but one that's now a decent all-rounder. Crucially, Williams has also ironed out one of the main weaknesses of last year's car, the tendency to lock front wheels under braking for slow corners. However, it's still suffering from a long-term Williams problem of being overweight, in the early stages of the season at a cost of as much as 4.5 tenths per lap. All of this adds up to a car that is decent, but the winter car build troubles and series of accidents have combined to knock back upgrades. Today's video is sponsored by a cool little Danish company called Rec Watches. What's so cool about the watches they make is that they
Sure, let's skip whatever that was.
Winner, Ferrari. Peakiness banished. Last year's Ferrari was aerodynamically inconsistent. That meant that for much of the season it had too lively a rear even for Charles Leclerc, meaning understeer was dialed in to calm that down. That instability also made it very hard on its tyres. That started to change last year and is no longer a weakness in 2024, with the Ferrari now a good, consistent and predictable car that's generally kind to its tyres. It has also sacrificed a little of its qualifying performance for race pace, which makes for an all-round gain given at times the Ferrari last year was able to be quickest over a single lap but slid to second or third fastest in the race. This year, the Ferrari has at times been the best in races in terms of tyre management. As Monaco showed, the Ferrari is also strong over the curbs and is perhaps the best in the field on this score. Charles Leclerc described this as a strength. Ferrari is just lacking that final edge of pace to challenge Red Bull consistently, and while its average single lap performance is fractionally worse than last year, it's now in an all-round...
Shit, that scared me so much. Trident time, can I get one? Man, they're spawning so many times and they're shooting like so much. They're fast. I still don't get any trident. No, give me trident. Nope. So boring. Let's see. It must be this one. How can I make my trident collection bigger if I don't get any more? So boring. So many trident zombies I've seen and no tridents drop. So boring.
Round better place, as proved by having 130 points more than the same stage in 2023. Loser, Mercedes, slow corner.
The biggest loser. I mean, they've been the biggest loser like since 2022.
Struggles. The troubles of Mercedes have been a recurring theme in this rules era, but as we explained in a recent video on this channel, despite a difficult start to the season, there are signs that it could turn from loser to winner in the not too distant future.
Yeah, true. Of course they will. They just been waiting for many years, but the time will come, surely.
Sure. Last year, Mercedes struggled badly for rear stability.
I mean, that's so funny. I mean, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, they are already there. But for some reason, Mercedes will be... Not even that they will come up there. They will also be better than Red Bull and McLaren and Ferrari together. Like, how will that work? How will Mercedes succeed with that? And if they are that good, why did they wait 3 years for that?
Lost to corners. It's a
One more
characteristic
fish
the
for the
drivers
collection.
complained about since 2022. This year, that's turned on its head. The problem now is front-end grip in slow corners. As Lewis Hamilton says, the slower you go, the less the car wants to turn. And when the team makes changes to improve the front end for slow corners, as it did for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, that sacrifices high-speed performance. Team principal Toto Wolff claims the team knows what it did to solve the high-speed problems and what made last year's car good in the slow stuff. Now, he says, Mercedes just needs to bolt a car together that does both. That's easier said than done, given that making the car work across...
Oh no! I want to see Toto Wolff. Now we just need to bolt together a car that does both high speed and low speed. Wow. So, this for 2026 or for 2025?
Just needs to bolt a car together that does both. That's easier said than done, given that making the car work across a range of ride heights and attitudes is the big challenge of these regulations. But Mercedes now does have a clear direction. It's now about steady development gain.
There are clear direction, yeah, sure. Surely they have clear direction. That's why it took so long. So if they have clear direction, when will they start winning a race or even get a podium? Is that near future? Is that 1 year into the future? Is it for 2026? Is that when the improvement will happen?
Rather than searching for magic bullets to unlock performance. And that's a new experience for Mercedes under the current regulations. Winner, RB, midfield leader. Last year's AlphaTauri battled...
Yeah, they are the best time to change your name and promote the new name really good is making a good car also. Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team. Wait, did I just say RB?
Corner winner RB mid.
That's so boring. Come on, you're doing news. It's Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team. Then we have Stake F1 team Kick Saber.
Field leader. Last year's AlphaTauri battled corner entry stability in medium and low speed corners. That improved in the closing stages of the season. This year, what's now called the V-Carb 01 has, according to racing director
Yeah, but the name is Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team.
Alan Permain, proved to be at its best in slower corners. However, it has been the class of what's considered the second group in F1, so much so that it's been ahead of Aston Martin of late and racked up a healthy 24 points.
Oh my god. Let's see. How many points are there from let's see. Aston Martin 44 points. So they are 20 points behind. It could maybe happen, but probably not. If Ricciardo start doing equally good as Yuki Tsunoda does in every race, then they will. Because the only one that will score points, good points for Aston Martin is Fernando Alonso. That sure will probably never score any more points.
$22 more than at the same stage last year. Another problem that RB is working on is the
Can
fact
it
the
be
car
one more
isn't
fish
great off the line.
for
But
the
given it
collection?
shares kit with Red Bull Racing, that's more about operation and preparation than the hardware.
Light grey.
Loser, Sauber, lacking in grip.
They are the biggest loser. In the naming. Like, you make a clown name. Your car looks. The sponsors are like a clown. Like, everything doesn't look like a legit Formula 1 team. And then you also the worst team. Yes, the perfect gamble. Like they promote gambling to show how bad gambling is. The pit stops was like a gamble. How good the car is in the races is a gamble. Everything is just a gamble. And they never wins. They're just losing.
Audi's Future Works team started the season with a car that could have scored points, but for pit stop disasters that have been eliminated by wheel nut and axle modifications. But it's been slowest for the past 3 events in Miami, Imola and Monaco. Last year's car was too draggy and unstable in the fast corners. Sauber has less of a drag problem this year, but still the main strength is seen as the slower corners, with the big deficit to the front runners in the fast stuff. The fundamental problem appears to be a lack of aerodynamic load. There have been times recently, for example Imola, where the balance has been good, but the overall grip lacking. Even in low speed Monaco, the drivers struggled for confidence. This car needs some significant upgrade progress, and fast. Loser, Red Bull, battling old problems. It seems absurd to call a team that has won 5 out of 8 Grand Prix and taken 7 out of 8 pole positions a loser. But it's a relative game, and given its supremacy last year and the inevitable improvement by rivals, it was almost impossible for Red Bull to be classified as a winner right now. While the results suggest that Red Bull created problems with the new RB20 given how dominant its predecessor was, the reality is that its strengths and weaknesses are much the same. It's just that the competition has sped up, and therefore these weaknesses are exposed.
Oh, they can also be
As
one
Max
more
Verstappen
fish.
puts it,
Well, a new
Red Bull
fish.
was found out
The
in
collection.
Monaco where the bumps and curbs made the car difficult to drive. So what exactly is the problem? Well, the rear suspension is not that compliant in roll, so when under load in corners, thanks to high lateral stiffness. This is combined with a car that is compliant vertically, which works well with the complex underfloor design and minimises the aerodynamic bouncing problems. However, at Monaco, the car was suffering from mechanical bouncing, and this couldn't be eliminated without sacrificing far too much downforce and making the car much slower. This means, as Verstappen says, bumpy tracks with a lot of curb riding will be tricky. As Monaco was the worst case scenario for Red Bull, the car will still thrive at the majority of tracks. It could still mean
So the champion is 100% not on. People have too much copium.
that at circuits like Singapore and Baku, and perhaps even more conventional
Oh,
tracks with a lot
Singapore. Piastri can win that race. Hype. Hopefully.
sport of curb riding, such as Montreal and Monza, Red Bull might face more of a challenge. But when you start on top, you have to make rapid progress just to stand still. And although Red Bull has lost out in the development war, it's still on course to win the prizes that really matter. And a lot more races.
Yeah, true. They failed with making a car by still winning everything. What a failure. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to the Imola Romagna GP preview, where Norris could maybe have won that race. He was like one lap. If he had 1 or 2 more laps, he could maybe have tried to at least attack Max Verstappen. But that didn't happen, so he just finished P2. So did something more happen in that race? I don't remember. Let's see what happened. Oh shit, loud.
Well, round 7 kicks off the mostly European stretch of the Formula 1 season and the 4th visit to Imola in the modern era. Max's 8th consecutive pole led on to a win, which matches a record set by the legend Ayrton Senna. And that was after Max and his Team Redline teammates won the virtual Nürburgring 24-hour event at the same weekend. It was a great push at the end by Lando Norris, closing out a nearly 5-second gap, but it wasn't quite enough.
True.
Here are how the results look.
But it was close.
It was Max Verstappen.
So let's see. Okay, Norris, yep. Charles Leclerc, yep. Piastri, Carlos Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Perez, Stroll, Tsunoda. Ugh, seeing Haas being so close to points.
Who led the way, as I say. Lando Norris coming home second ahead of the first Ferrari as Charles Leclerc. Then it was Lando's teammate Piastri in 4th, Carlos Sainz in 5th, the 2 Mercedes 6th and 7th, Hamilton, Russell. Then it was Perez, yes, Perez down in 8th, Lance Stroll 9 and Tsunoda.
I wanna see, like, did he? How bad qualifying did Perez do? Let's see. That was Milan Romagna. I wanna see the very best. Gonna catch them all. Fishemon. Okay, qualifying. Let's see. Oh shit. Sorry, past 11. Oh yeah. Max Verstappen, the number 1 and position 1, and then Sergio Perez have the number 11 and start at 11. Oh, Logan Sargent, DNF. Wait, what? Did not finish in qualifying? The fuck did he do? Yeah, I have almost no memory of this race.
In 10, rounding out the points. It was a DNF.
I only remember the ending.
Alex Albon, and almost DNF.
Oh yeah, it was somewhat fight against Norris and Leclerc, who will be P2, and then some from nowhere Norris start getting close to Max Verstappen. You thinking, oh shit, it was not Leclerc trying to get past Norris. It was always Norris trying to get past Max Verstappen.
Well, Fernando Alonso and Valtteri Bottas and Logan Sargent also raced. Well, I'm Bryn Lucas, and joining me to discuss everything that we saw there from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, I'm delighted to have Jake Boxall-Legg and Alex Kalinauskis. Now, JBL, you are out there in Italy. What was it like for you, particularly with Ferrari getting a podium?
It's been brilliant, actually, and it's been great to see just, everybody talks about the Tifosi. It's such, it's kind of a legendary part of Formula One. And I've kind of never been in it before. So to see so many people dressed in red, wandering around just outside the media centre, there's a whole host of like classic cars and classic F1 cars and things like that. It's just great to see everybody kind of enjoying that. So yeah, it's been great to be a part of. There is a massive stage right next to the media centre, and it is currently very loud, so I do apologise for any thwomping bass that you're about to hear. It's not my music, so apologies for the quality of it.
You sure?
Thwomping bass, there you go. That's the first time we've heard that, I think. In quite
I think it is his music. And he just forgot to turn it off. And then he blames the people around him that playing the music.
Since 1983. Alex, I thought it was quite an enjoyable race. Are there any drivers that particularly stood out for you, though? We'll come to the order and things like that.
No race, 100%.
But anyone in particular, maybe outside the top two?
Top two? Maybe Tsunoda or Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda, that I'm sure we're going to talk about. But I don't want to talk about him at the moment, Bryn, because I'm going to have to lambast you for enjoying that race. It was truly terrible. And frankly, if the question had come to me, how am I feeling, I would say pretty pissed off, because I think that could have been a much better race and various bits wrecked it. I think Pirelli, the decision to go a step softer on the tyres, completely didn't work. Not only was it a one-stopper for the leaders, it just made Red Bull's day easier. The one thing we know that car, well, there's a few things we know that car can definitely do. One of them is be very kind on its tyres, and it was much better on the mediums. And then when, as we'll come to, Max Verstappen lost the tyre temperature on the hards, and McLaren and Lando Norris were able to keep those alive, it came down to the mediums didn't being the difference. So yeah, that was a mistake, I think. In retrospect, we can say now, and it made 90% of that race.
Man, he can't really like the Monaco race then.
Really, really, really tedious. And the other problem was there was overtaking, but really not a lot. And the key reason why, the DRS zone was shorter than in 2022. Why was that? We know it's hard to overtake around Imola. What we love about it is that it's a brutal old school track. It needs a bit of a helping hand, and I think really again F1 bit of a shooting in the foot example here. But yeah, no, let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda later once I've exercised that fury at that time.
Could that be that where you don't have any memory of this? Because they had different tires at different times, so you never saw the problem, really? Because I feel I saw overtakes.
Terrible race.
Just like, it's like rub your earlobes and just in with
One
the
more
good, out with
fish
the bad. I'll
for
tell
the
you what, I'm going to
collection.
qualify it as an enjoyable race, because I'm going to say why. Because maybe it's slightly tinted, but the last 5 laps or so, Lando Norris was hunting down Verstappen like a mad thing. But there was, Perez going off, running through the gravel, Hamilton doing the same as well. There were a few moments, I think, that gave us something to cling
was Perez in the gravel?
onto. And
Wait. Oh shit. We need to do something. Man, I have so little memory of this race. Where do we have it?
Gillette
Oh my god, why so loud everything?
Neon Night Edition. Olik alla andra.
Yeah, true. I wanna man, The memory of this race, I have nothing. Only the end. Come on, the ads. Man, I give me ad money to Formula 1 that just wanna punish you for watching them. That's so mean. Come on. Finally, now I can actually see. Did anything interesting happen in this race? Okay, here we have what talked about. Paris in the gravel. Okay, yep, that's no memory. Nope. Oh, the flopping Lewis Hamilton is in the gravel, so that I think I remember. And yeah, the Charles Leclerc, eller Ferrari against McLaren fight. What more happened? Okay, let's see. Something happened here. The main losses to Lando are, eller losses, turn 2 and turn 6. Yeah, my taste don't work, mate. Yeah, Fishemon, man. Then we have some more radio from Max Verstappen. Can you let me buy even more stupid? Is it Logan Sargent he's talking about? Okay, it was maybe a boring race. Well, boring race that maybe not so much happened, but the fight against McLaren and Ferrari, I think in my opinion was funny. Oh shit. We click that and then we go from that. And then we go back to the Autosport. Man, I still have no memory of this race. This is so weird.
I thought it was okay. I sat there, I had my...
From my memory, I also liked the race. Will Charles Leclerc overtake Norris? And when that stopped happening, Norris started getting close to Max Verstappen, and then green. Oh my god, 100% green. Nice. But I would say the race would have ended so much better if Lando Norris get past Max Verstappen. And it will to get one more win in a row for Lando Norris. And then he can write it down like his first win streak is winning 2 in a row.
My shandy in my right hand, and I was quite happy with a notepad in my left and watching on.
Drinking on the job.
Fuck off. This is somewhat mean now. Watch 2 ads for the Formula 1 channel, and now I already did one more ad here. 12-second ad. We've done 15-second ad after that. Let's see. I don't think it's one fish for the collection. Light blue, pink. Nope. It's one of the boring fishes. Back to...
Good. The ending was good. I don't deny that. I had my notes
True.
up over my face with the excitement.
From the middle to the end, it was fun. Remember, not the start.
Also, roaring fury at the cutting to the crowd when Lando Norris was about under a second away from Max Verstappen on the last lap. Don't know what that was.
Huh, did they do that? That's good job.
All about. But yeah, the ending was good. But I think my point is potentially we could
Wait,
have had.
The ending could be really good, but I wouldn't say. Oh well, somewhat good. It would be so much better if he won, but
The whole race. Obviously, you know, things are never going to work out exactly in terms of like if they've been different with the tyres. But the fact is, the hard tyres undid Red Bull today, and the medium tyres really helped them. So yeah, I think a case of what might have been.
Yeah, do you know, actually, I was watching the TV, same as you, and I was just pulling my hair out the number of times they cut away at almost overtake moments to a random crowd shot of somebody waving. It was just so infuriating. JBL, I mean, maybe you didn't have to endure it as much as we did, but let's talk technical issues then, or upgrade issues. Who brought an upgrade package that worked?
Mercedes must have brought upgrades. I feel like they do it every race, and it leads to nothing. Let's see. Must be Mercedes.
And who didn't? I'm pretty sure Aston Martin is a didn't.
That's something that I think both the drivers spoke about. Lance Stroll did speak about the upgrades not delivering the gains that they wanted to. Mike Crack spoke after the race and basically said, look, you know, we do have upgrades. We are still sort of understanding where they stand, but everybody else has got upgrades as well. So it's not necessarily about what gains you have. It's the bare minimums to keep pace with everybody else, and it might have delivered time that the team could have used in terms of performance, but ultimately, you know, you have the likes of Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull bringing their own.
Yeah, oh shit, I was right. Mercedes did that. And the fuck did they finish? Where do we have that? They finished P6, wow, and P7. The future for Mercedes looks so bright.
Upgrades as well. McLaren had their own in Miami previously, which Oscar Piastri now had. So at the bottom line, they had to keep pace. I don't necessarily know if you could say they did that. Obviously, there were extenuating circumstances for Alonso, and Stroll has, let's be honest, kind of been about where he was in the previous races. So, you know, I guess it's kind of the bottom line is they're sort of there or thereabouts where they were. It's not enough to go and fight for victories like they were doing last season, but ultimately...
Okay, that's somewhat rigged comment. I believe just one race they could fight for a win or victory, but it was for pole position in Monaco. There was not actually fighting for a win. Well, you can say maybe in the race also. One more fish for the collection. But yeah, but I wouldn't say that's really fighting for a win. But yeah, sure.
I don't think it's all quite doom and gloom at the moment. It just takes a
No,
little bit of
it's
time
not.
to understand it sometimes.
Just on that Stroll thing very quickly, I mean, he's finished in the points for the third time this season. We're in the
Wow. I mean, that's... Lawrence Stroll is so happy for his son. Succeed to get points in Formula 1.
7th Grand Prix. He did say something like, it was just not good enough. In a way, Lance Stroll says things, it's just not good enough. And you think, okay, Lance, let me look at your results. They're just not good enough. You know, and throw it back at him. But, you know, I don't know if anybody has ever done that to Lance. I'm sure they have, and just he's batted it down. But look further afield. I mean,
Aston Martin didn't really perform. McLaren did perform. Ferrari, well, they brought some upgrades as well. And Mercedes, I think they were another one, weren't they? Brought a decent upgrade package.
Yeah, sure, decent. But like, what do all this talk about Mercedes come from? The upgrades are doing really well. They're decent. They go forward. I mean, to what? Winning races, getting at least a podium, being faster than McLaren or Ferrari. Like, where is this upgrade going?
Yeah, so I think Ferrari was the big ticket item coming into the race because we saw everything and kind of their Fiorano shakedown of it, I guess, during sort of filming day allowance. And this was something that was put to Charles Leclerc after the race, and he said it's really hard to kind of determine the veracity of them because Imola's a circuit all about riding the curbs, and that's where you get the majority of your time. So there's no real, let's say, you can't really determine what it is in terms of time. But he did say that with regards to what Ferrari was how it felt, what the data said, everything did seem to work as expected. So it's just a matter of, I guess, us putting a number on that, and I don't know whether we'll be able to see that at Monaco, whether this kind of net downforce gains are enough.
Spoilers: Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco race.
Where its bottom line is raised for, obviously what is a very, high downforce circuit. But it did seem to work out for Ferrari. Mercedes had a few upgrades with regards to the floor. Decent performance from them today.
Yeah,
So
decent. Yeah. To what? Staying behind Ferrari and McLaren. That's
I
nice.
think you can probably tick that box and say, yeah, Mercedes kind of did what it could today. Still off the top three teams, but ultimately a decent performance. And Red Bull had a few upgrades as well, but they were kind of dealing with their own non-upgrade issues throughout the weekend. So again, this is something where Max said they did the job, but we weren't entirely focused on that throughout the weekend because they had a setup issue that they needed to cure overnight.
Just quickly on that, JBL, was it ride height was the main problem for Red Bull?
There was a bit of ride height. I think FP1 especially, Verstappen was probably a little bit too low for his liking. But there was also this shifting balance as well. So I think in FP1 and FP2, the car was very, very on the nose. So the front wheels were gripping up a lot more than the rate of the rears, and so that was causing it to slide. And Verstappen obviously went off a few times. And then FP3, I think it went a little bit too far rearwards. They'd done a lot of work overnight with Sebastian Buemi on the simulator to try and fix the issues. But if you equate too far forward to too far back on FP3, you kind of have a window of what's sort of like your good times, and so they could kind of dial things into that area basically by working out what they should be doing with the car.
Somebody else who spent a fair bit of time
in
the simulator was Max Verstappen over the weekend because he raced in the virtual event, didn't he, Alex? Now let's just talk about some of these other drivers as well. Let's just talk about your prediction, by the way, at the beginning of the week. Now I haven't verified this. I can't remember which you said, but I'm pretty sure you said Max to win, Lando second, and Charles.
Fucking disgusting. Oh, fuck me. That was scary. It was so depressing if I would lose all the 152 levels that I have slowly grinding up. And just because the witch hit me with that poison, everything just get removed.
Charles third, and I'm pretty sure that you said Lewis to finish sixth. So I think if you didn't put those down in your Formula One fantasy league, you've missed some big point scoring opportunities just there. But let's just talk about Lando and Max as well, because McLaren do seem to be now really filling that void as the third team, and they are hot on the heels of Ferrari.
What? Where's Mercedes? Didn't the upgrades do decent results? Shouldn't they be there?
Certainly by this race's outcome, and they are hot on the heels of Red Bull as well. He found 5 seconds on Max, closed out to 0.7 of a second when he crossed the line at the end. So a decent performance from the team that are just up the road from me here in Surrey.
No! At time.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, Bryn. I think really you have to say McLaren are second best. I think definitely should have beaten Max to pole position with both drivers.
Second or third best, but whatever they are, they're still better than Mercedes. So if you're a Mercedes fan, maybe you should start being a McLaren fan.
If it hadn't been for the Hulkenberg giving Max the toe. And yeah, I think, with the advantage Max had in that first stint, would it have been enough to win the race with, well, we know Piastri wouldn't have been there because he got the penalty for impeding the other Haas. Would it have been enough for Norris to win the race? Can't say. It would certainly have been a more interesting first stint. But yeah, I just think that everything we've seen in Miami, everything we've seen, Ferrari have the upgrade now. Ferrari have the equivalent of what McLaren brought to Miami, and it didn't seem to necessarily vault them straight back ahead. I think the other thing you've got to say about Ferrari is that Charles Leclerc's opened up about a power delivery problem at the start of qualifying laps. So essentially, he was sort of alluding to that yesterday, saying, we don't gain as much in sector one compared to everybody else. And actually, I thought at the time he was talking about, again, the tyres not being in the window, as he talked about earlier in the season. Now he seems to be saying, actually, it's a power delivery problem. The car's just not quick enough at the start of laps. It's not, its power mapping isn't being done as well as compared to his rivals, is what Leclerc's saying, and essentially he thinks he's losing out on time there, and it's such a fine margin thing. Okay, fair enough. I take the point that they're very close, McLaren and Ferrari, so he's like a 1/10 split on overall pace, and Leclerc was brilliant this weekend. I thought he was very good chasing down Lando Norris in both stints until Norris has hit the sweet spot with the tyres, and off he went. And it's interesting. I think that was also Verstappen's undoing. He lost the tyre temperature. That's what made the car almost effectively pretty undrivable by the end of that second stint. So yeah, tricky one to say whether Norris would have won the race. I think
maybe not win the race, but he could at least try to get past Max Verstappen if he was 1 or 2 laps earlier. With the tax.
Andrea Stella's a little bit sort of rode back on it a little bit, but Norris is fairly emphatic that had he had a couple more laps, he would have at the very least had a go.
True.
JBL, would Ferrari or are Ferrari frustrated by the fact that when Lando went, Charles Leclerc could not respond?
One more fish.
Oh, I think it was a little bit of just the ebb and flow of the tyre strategy, really. And actually, Lando spoke pretty at length about that kind of transition point. I think it was around lap 40, lap 41, where he'd said, Leclerc's just a lot quicker than me at the moment, at this moment in time. So he said that he basically played with every switch on his steering wheel to try and get something out of the tyres. I think a lot of it was traffic related as well. He changed some diff settings, he changed some power delivery settings and things like that. And when he came out of the traffic, he started to feel that his tyres were actually coming to him a little bit more. And so that was kind of the crucial thing, because he'd been very kind of...
Oh yeah, didn't they pit him behind traffic? Like maybe... I think he got behind maybe Perez. Something getting behind the traffic that... I don't know, it was... If you could have avoided it. But that, I think, was one problem that I think happened for Norris not winning the race. Or making him harder time to win the race.
Careful with how he managed the tyres at the start of that kind of hard tyre stint. Especially with regards to traffic, because you can't take too much out of it. You just got to kind of, bed it in easily, and then when you've got the performance at the end of the race, you can use that. So I think that's what he was trying to do. Whereas Verstappen out in front, because Red Bull had done so little hard tyre running over the weekend, particularly with the changes in setups and things like that, their kind of data set wasn't particularly expansive. And so that's a little bit where Verstappen struggled towards the end of the race, didn't really know where the limit was with them. Whereas Norris, turned up to the weekend and had a pretty decent setup, so there wasn't too much difference from the McLaren side. So I think that's where he kind of won out. I don't think Verstappen... I do...
while McLaren and Norris can fight for wins, or P2 Mercedes are fighting to get points.
Do you think Verstappen kind of lost the tyres a little bit towards the end as well? Just sliding around too much, taking too much out of them, and Norris had the life and was able to go for it.
Yeah, that was the key thing that Horner spoke about, was that basically they didn't do enough hard tyre running in FP2. They sort of saved a set there, and the thinking was that had they in retrospect, they'd go back, use it there, and potentially get a bit more knowledge about what would happen later on in the second stint in the race.
Cheers for that, Alex.
No
It's
shit,
nice to get-
so they almost gave Norris and victory. No, that's somewhat nice. Albon misfortune. The fuck did happen to Albon? Let's see. No. Here we have it. Okay, Albon. Where are you? That is the right race. Williams. DNF. Let's see, what happened to Alex Albon? Man, why don't I have any memory of this race? Okay, Albon is out there. Oh, didn't they miss doing something with the tire? Okay, yeah, something with the tire, I believe. Okay, that explains why. Okay, let's see if it is that. Back to Albon's misfortune. So let's see if it is the tie thing.
Get some sort of additional info on it. I just want to talk about a couple of other drivers as well. So Yuki Tsunoda is one. I definitely want to come back to Yuki. You've mentioned him earlier on, but let's talk about Albon. Now, Albon signed a contract extension, didn't he, just the other day as well? But he had a real nightmare. What can you tell us, Alex?
Yeah, good news for Albon in that his F1 future is secure. You know, we already knew it was going into 2025, but you know, he's the sort of driver that would be wanting sort of to look long term, and he's got that with Williams. Whether that's the right call in terms of being the most successful with the best team, you'd have to say not, considering where Williams currently are, and the frankly startling admission from James Vowles, or yet another startling admission from James Vowles.
Well, after Monaco, they are have 2 points, and they are better than Alpine, so could be a really good future for him.
That the car's just overweight, shipping a good 4/10 just in excess weight, and that previous Williams cars in the last few years have absolutely been overweight. So yeah, that's rather alarming. But I think basically Albon's gambling that the upsides, that the things that Vowles is implementing will sooner rather than later.
Hopefully, and you knew we will join Williams. That would be so amazing. And then can he be part of a team when he starts going from somewhat bad to good?
Later, he hopes, pay off, and Williams will turn it around. But yeah, very hard race for him today, and not really his fault. Came in for his pit stop on lap 8, seemed to be slightly slow, just gets the green light as he goes to go back out. He obviously hits the gas, heads out the pit box. The Williams mechanic, or the mechanics on the right front corner, go back to sort of try and have another go at the wheel, but there's not enough time, the car's already gone. All looking fine until Albon gets out of the pit lane, hits the pit lane limiter, and at that point he's thinking, oh, hang on a minute, it doesn't feel quite right. Turns into Tamburello, and then immediately, as soon as he gets out the second part, he's not even bothering to accelerate at that point. He's on the radio saying the wheel's loose. He tours.
Oh shit! So, man, I have some memory of this race, but apparently not enough to recall what happened.
The pits, essentially, you should make the argument that perhaps he probably should have pulled over immediately and retired, but the stewards did investigate that, so they already saw that the wheel was loose, or, you know, the fact that Albon's admitted that is a slam dunk penalty if he's still in the race. So 10 seconds stop and go, race ruined, 2 laps down, stopped 10 laps early to save the mileage on the engine. But actually he was investigated a second time where he was actually cleared of driving the car in an unsafe manner, if that makes any sense. So he was punished for it, but the carrying on, which is pretty frowned upon, they cleared him of any sort of penalty, you know, necessary action, because basically they accepted his explanation. He'd heard this weird, like, metallic sound, but obviously he's been given the green light. You know, the team aren't saying the wheel's loose. He can feel it, but he was certain it wasn't going to come off. He said it was only moving 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter, if you want to be slightly more or slightly less specific, I suppose. And essentially, he was confident that the speed he was going, the wheel wasn't coming off. The stewards were satisfied about that. The merits, whether that's right or wrong, is up for someone else to decide.
That would be something. Alex Albon getting 2 points on his driver license, and then we had Kevin Magnussen gets 0 points for crashing 2 people out. No, that would be amazing if that actually happened.
Well, you know, maybe I could have a go in a column, but I don't know. You kind of say that if you think the wheel's loose, you should probably stop immediately, but we take Albon at his word that he knew it wasn't going to come off, so fair enough. But race ruined for him. They did have sort of 43 laps trying to do basically 43 lap test session.
One more fish.
Because Williams weren't very happy with, especially with the wind turning around, which actually I think is another factor in why Red Bull suddenly went from looking so awful on Friday to much better yesterday. The wind completely turning around 180 degrees. It was, you know, through that the 2 revats.
I mean, I feel like Red Bull have been looking so like many races now. They're bad on Friday, still bad on Saturday, and then when qualifying happened, they are good. And then the race, they are even better. It's like, and then Max Verstappen, yeah, we changed something before the qualifying. Yeah, but how can you always change something to make the car better when you haven't done that on all 3 practice? That's really lucky.
The lap, it was sort of cross tailwind, and again we saw that in Bahrain. As soon as the wind turns around, it can dramatically change car balance, and Verstappen's certainly much happier.
So one more
with
fish
that
for the
case. But for
collection.
Williams, it actually made things significantly worse. And basically, that's why Albon said that he struggled so much in qualifying. He was coming out of the final corner, tyres were just too hot, sliding all over the place. So he just spent 43 laps changing his brake balance, checking everything, you know, taking it more rearwards or moving things around, seeing if he can improve it. But yeah, tricky race. But at least, you know, like I said at the start, at least he's got his F1 future in the long term secure.
Yeah, and from Williams' point of view, they get some valuable data
Oh
from
my
that.
god, they will not talk about Mercedes? What? Okay, they talk somewhat to Mercedes here with the technical upgrades, I think. Okay, Perez, Tsunoda and Randy Brown. I wonder that can be. Bottas to Williams. I mean, that could happen by, and I hoping that Drugovich can get his spotlight in Williams.
Because they can use it as a posh looking test session in many ways. Let's just talk about a few others then. So this race to 5th in the Constructors' Championship, that Aston Martin looked like they were probably
or they can do, if Bottas is worse than Alex Albon, then they bring in Drugovich.
gonna have in the bag it doesn't look quite so clear, does it? With RB stepping up a bit and Yuki Tsunoda, and Alex, I definitely will talk to you about Yuki Tsunoda in a few moments' time, but JBL, the performance there of RB, Ricciardo, yes, fell back down a little bit, but they seem to be finding a bit of pace when teams like Aston Martin are not.
They are. And we can skip it. Nice.
Yeah, I think so. That's a fair assessment. You know, obviously, one of the top 5 teams has to drop out of either the top 10 or out of the points for other teams to score. And Aston Martin did have a very, very difficult weekend.
New fix with the collection.
Rally towards the end and managed to get some, 2 important points. Ultimately beat Tsunoda on pace as well. So I think it all came right in the end, but obviously the key issue was just the dismal weekend that Fernando Alonso had. Running off the track in qualifying after his practice crash, so that set him behind the 8 ball straight off the bat, really, kind of had to abort, then had his Q1 exit. And so the race was, again, it's kind of an extended test session. Started on the soft tyres just to try and get a bit of a advantage, but it became very, very clear very, very quickly that degradation was higher than expected. So I think it was plan A -2 or something like that was the call on the radio. So he basically had to just hang it out and do 2 stops and finish very low down. It was a really, really difficult weekend. Did end up doing a pit lane start because Aston Martin wanted to check a few suspension changes and tweak a few things and see if that could actually try and get something out of the race. But when you're in that position, when you've got no track position whatsoever, you are completely reliant on the safety car. That was not forthcoming today. So unfortunately, Aston Martin missed out on a hatful of points. But I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I don't think it's quite as, let's say, performance-wise, as bad as it looks today. It just happened to be a really unlucky incident for the driver that's getting the lion's share of points, and the second driver was about where you would expect him to be. So I think, when it gets to Monaco, I think they'll be in the same place. It's just
yeah, true, and they were. No points. Yeah, Gasly got the last point. Tsunoda got more points. Oh my god, who more got points? Monaco. Pegasi. Oh, Alexander Albon. Okay, Yuki Tsunoda. And Fernando Alonso was close to getting points. I mean, if Ocon had just crashed out Ocon, Pegasi. If Ocon crashed out Pegasi, Fernando Alonso could have got some points. That would be something interesting for Alpine to maybe talk about with Ocon about.
Just a bad luck day for other circumstances.
So a bit of a blip. Now then, Alex, your moment about Tsunoda. He had a really, really strong race. The man who didn't have a strong weekend was Sergio Perez. Now, how many times are we going to have this conversation that Sergio Perez just...
Oh my god, and then Monaco comes and he have even worse race. Get crashed out in the first lap.
Is not doing what he needs to do, or doesn't appear to be. But you wrote an article on Autosport.com. I urge our viewers to go and read it. But about the seat that's there, and
they also now signed Perez. He have 2 more years in the Red Bull.
Well, Sergio Perez has got to lose it, isn't he? But he's
nope.
He's looking good.
He did not.
Good to lose it if that's his target. But will Yuki Tsunoda be the likely one to step into the seat?
Nope.
Based on the performances he's given, because he's outperforming Daniel Ricciardo.
He will be staying with the Cash Up AB Formula 1 team until Lance Stroll leaves Aston Martin, so Yuki Tsunoda can join that team with Honda.
So you have to, if you're going to do it about the best driver, you can't consider Ricciardo.
So it's interesting, that piece, that situation.
And that I would almost say, if Ricciardo like do what he do now. He's like not good, but he's also not that bad. But he don't get any points. I feel like Lawson will 100% get the seat. And Ricardo can maybe be the test driver or whatever in Red Bull.
What's sort of come to light on
Like I think what Lawson is now. So they just switch place. Lawson get to drive in Visa Cash Up RB Formula 1 team, and Ricardo can do all the simulation and all that driving.
Sunday in Imola. Essentially, the piece sort of just highlighted Red Bull's problem. It has to wait to see if Perez is still going to carry on his good form. But actually, even though Tsunoda has been brilliant, he's not guaranteed to ever be considered for promotion to that seat. I think you're right about Ricciardo. I think the start of this season, plus all the the Red Bull management war and the uncertainty there, that's made it a lot harder for his comeback to Red Bull to ever happen. But yeah, so let's look.
I mean, Tsunoda. The biggest thing I think ruin anything for Tsunoda to get into Red Bull. That this was never part of the Red Bull junior team stuff. He was part of Honda to get a seat in Alpha Tauri. So I would say I think Red Bull doesn't see him as someone that they actually need to care about. They maybe have him, but as soon as they don't want him, they will remove him as fast as they can.
Good things in isolation. So first of all, Tsunoda, absolutely brilliant weekend. Fantastic in qualifying.
And also, just because he's good in Visa Cash Up RB Formula 1 team doesn't mean he will be good in the Red Bull car. And if you want to promote Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team, why not keep them on the driver that's already good in that team? And just make him happy.
Slight underperformance in Q3, but then he's not driving an RB20, he's driving a V car,
No more
whatever
fish.
it is. So
For the collection.
he did the best he could. He still beat Lewis Hamilton, and that's not to be sniffed at. So yeah,
No, don't say that. Can Tsunoda really do that in a Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team against a Mercedes car? A 7-time world champion in a Mercedes. I don't know how far have Mercedes fallen.
did get overtaken by Stroll again. Quicker Aston Martin, as JBL said. It's he still brought home the points on a tricky weekend. On a weekend where all the time they're not going to be guaranteed points. So fair play for Tsunoda for that. But yeah, like I said, Perez, it was pretty terrible, that FP3 crash.
Then you need to see the Monaco race. Even worse.
Worse, I think, was the qualifying, being knocked out in Q2, and he's off the road again in the race. And Red Bull had thought 7th was on based on their simulations. He could only manage 8th.
Yeah, then you really need to see the qualifying for Monaco, and then the race. If you thought Perez can't do it any worse, then you can watch that. He succeeded.
I think pretty.
And then after that, he also then got a 2-year contract with Red Bull. So could this been the biggest master plan for Perez? Drive so bad, so Red Bull need to give you the 2-year contract that you want in the team.
Be pretty poor from Perez. But
and it looked like Max Verstappen will pick your side, so that I was thinking, because Max Verstappen was so positive to this 2-year contract. Wonder if he said like, if you want me to stay in Red Bull, you need to sign him for 2 years, or I will leave. So maybe thanks to Max Verstappen, Perez have this 2-year contract.
We learned from our colleague Jonathan Noble at motorsport.com F1 editor. He produced a fantastic sort of driver market analysis piece that actually the suggestion now is that Red Bull is leaning more towards retaining Perez, which is incredible.
And that's true, because it happened yesterday, I think.
Underwhelming, you know, unless this sort of closing of the field, this McLaren and Ferrari getting close, that they can take the fight to Verstappen that he obviously can't. And if that can happen,
One
then
more
there's
fish
no
for
real
the
problem. And Red
collection.
Bull have got a big problem because they could potentially lose a
White
constructors' title
light.
because of it. So yeah, that's one issue. But yeah, Tsunoda, you know, there was also sort of a one question I had was, as he sort of harmed his chances of anything helpful coming from Red Bull by not letting Max Verstappen through with sort of, you know, I think it was sort of 5 or 6 laps to go. Max really furious at not being let by Tsunoda when he was being lapped. Actually, I mean,
Oh shit, was that Tsunoda, not Lewis Hamilton?
Bobby didn't tell Tsunoda anything. I've, you know, listened back to everything, and he's just informed where Hulkenberg is, who he's racing behind, is 8 seconds behind. As soon as he gets the call that Max is behind him, he lets him over immediately. So it's not like RB were like, get out of his way, and Tsunoda was ignoring it. So yeah, just an interesting bit of fury. But actually, you know, the chances of Tsunoda getting the Red Bull promotion is less to do with little moments like that, and more the fact that, you know, we just know historically Helmut Marko doesn't really rate him. It's just there's not the momentum within the Red Bull camp for Tsunoda to ever get that seat. So yeah, brilliant performance. Just, you know, at the very least, you can say he's developing into an excellent Grand Prix driver. It's just where he goes from RB.
Hopefully Aston Martin, Lance Stroll can't be there forever. It's like, I mean, it will be so perfect. Honda owns Aston Martin, and in the promotion they also have Yuki Tsunoda joining the team. Honda engine with a Honda driver, and the promotion that they can do when they get a podium or a win. Probably not a win, but a podium. Just that would be maybe amazing. A Japanese driver get a podium with a Honda engine with Aston Martin. And Lawrence Stroll should wanna have that. But he believes in his son maybe too much. And that's somewhat sad.
If he ever does.
Yeah, it must be really frustrating though if you are a driver at a team like RB and, you know, you're serially not linked to a seat that your teammate is being linked to, and yet you're outperforming them all the time.
Ricciardo is maybe linked, but man, he doesn't do anything to trying to get it. So and maybe soon Lawson maybe will get linked to the seat soon.
Let's talk about seats and moving around then. JBL, you're out there in Italy. There's been photos and rumours of a few drivers popping into other setups, one being Bottas.
Yes.
Polestar. What a Polestar 2. Is that really a name? Fuck is first go away. We don't wanna promote anymore ads. And then we search Polestar 4. The fuck is this? Okay, now I wanna. The fuck? What kind of name do they have for the car? Polestar 3? Yeah, sure. Polestar 4. I mean, someone was creative when they named the car. mean, here we have actually some interesting names. And then we have Polestar 1, Polestar 2, Polestar 3, Polestar 4. Okay, maybe thanks to this guy. We got so creative names. Oh shit. Yeah, go away, ad. We need to wait 3 more seconds. And now we can go back. And hopefully we get... How many more fish do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 or 10 or 12 we can say. Until we go down to place them down.
He joked that he was just
in the
simply
collection.
getting some coffee from the Williams motorhome because he'd run out.
Oh shit, they're talking about Bottas going to Williams. I mean, could that happen? I mean, I could. But I feel like Bottas do so much other stuff. Like, can't he just leave the sport? 1 more fish for the collection, maybe? It should be. It looks so weird. Yeah, red and black. Instead of orange and grey, I think. Do we have that fish here somewhere? Grey and orange. Apparently not. But yeah, he do so much other stuff. Like, can't he just leave the sport and maybe focus more on biking and do whatever Bottas do when he's not in Formula 1 car? And then we have Drugovich joining the team. The Formula 2 winner 2022, I think. That I believe he should have got the seat than Logan Sargent. But yeah, sometimes you're unlucky. And sometimes someone else is lucky.
Who I believe has his own coffee brand, has run out of his own stuff.
And he went to talk to a man who doesn't drink coffee, or at least doesn't drink it on Saturday or Sunday.
A man who doesn't drink caffeine until Sundays. Yeah, so that was quite an interesting story. But obviously, this is the situation now where Sauber's looking elsewhere for drivers.
Oh my god, I remember the video. Bottas coming with a coffee and do a fist bump with the cameraman, and somewhat of the coffee gets on his hand. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. We need this one. I mean, this is something interesting. I somewhat misspelled YouTube, or the first 3 letters. But Finland is after. So it's almost right.
Nyt on tosi tärkeää pysyä kotona, että koronaviruksen leviäminen
Yeah, true.
Mä oon saanut aikani kulumaan muun muassa
Suomi.
Liitymme etsikkaan pelaa vähän videopelejä.
We listen to Bottas language. What the fuck do you want? Bottas coffee meme. Boots. Yes. The fuck did this work? Let's see, do this works? Okay, somewhat works. So lucky. And then I did it one more time, and he didn't get a problem with the coffee. But yeah, I hope more Drugovic getting the Williams seat and Bottas.
It's going to be a long shot if they retain either of the current incumbents of Bottas or Zhou, because Audi is already looking ahead to 2026.
And that will also be interesting. Could Jürgen Yu be the new Alpine driver? I'm hoping more for Mick Schumacher, but and oh, that would be so amazing if Jürgen Yu get to the Alpine car. Then the Geely, what they call, the owns Lotus, then buys up Alpine, and then brings back the Lotus name to Formula 1. Then we can have Jürgen Yu in maybe a Chinese team that have the name Lotus in Formula 1. But wouldn't that be an amazing future? But that's just fantasy.
One of them wants science for the other one, but there's an option that, you know, is set to elapse if he doesn't sign the deal, let's say in the next month or so. So, but Bottas has options, Williams being one of them, because Sargent's looking very under threat, even James Vowles, who was exerted.
In my opinion, he was under threat like before he even got before he even joined Williams. I mean, here we have Drugovic that won the Formula 2 championship. But Logan Sargent that finished 4th got the seat. And then have never looked good in the seat. When we could have maybe Drugovic that maybe could have looked good.
Did quite a lot of patience with the American driver. It's basically said, look, he needs to sort it out. He needs to get his head back in the game and he needs to start performing. Or
he will never do that.
He might not be in the car next year. So a lot of rumours about Sargent, that kind of thing. So Bottas has an option there for 2025. Alpine might be an option as well if Esteban Ocon or Pierre Gasly leave the team. Haas.
Yeah, all news. Esteban Ocon is the one that will leave Alpine.
Might also be an option as well. So Bottas does have options. I'm sure he's casting his net out around the pit lane. Some people have suggested, oh, why didn't he go back to Mercedes or something like that? I think that ship has long since sailed. But, you know, there's plenty of opportunities for him. And, you know, there's a few other drivers that probably want a bit of an upgrade on their current employment. So, you know, it's all finely poised at the moment. It's all very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think reading between the lines of what's going on at Mercedes is that Kimi Antonelli is very much plan A. I think they're sort of really pressing ahead with that. But actually just...
Yeah, true. I mean, that's all I believe also. I mean, the car is bad, so why not have Antonelli doing all the testing and driving and learning in the car he will then be in? Instead of going to Williams 1 or 2 years and then Mercedes. You are already in the team. You get to learn everyone in the team. And then you do all the learning in the car. So it's like all the learning you're doing is for the actual car you will be driving in. Than not driving it. And the car isn't good, so they will lose nothing.
And to credit John Noble for his driver market analysis piece, the most interesting bit of that I found was that maybe Ollie Behrman to Haas isn't quite as nailed on as had previously been suggested, you know, even coming from Haas itself. Essentially, Gene Haas apparently not all that sold on F1 rookies after his sort of chastening.
Yeah, Kevin Magnussen is so much better than a rookie.
I can't even say it. Difficult experience with Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin in 2021, and obviously then Mick Schumacher not really kicking on in 22 and all those crashes. So yeah, maybe harder, maybe not.
Yeah, and now we have 2024, and now we have Kevin Magnussen crashing a lot.
A foregone conclusion that Behrman is getting a seat at Haas next year.
Something we can talk about more in the podcast, I think, a little bit later on, is Carlos Sainz. And I want to finish on this one, if I can. Carlos Sainz, his management team were seen in the in the Red Bull setups, just spreading false rumours now, in the Red Bull setup, and also seen in with Alpine. Now, they're very, very different ends of the spectrum, those two teams.
No, two more
Would you
fishes.
expect to see Carlos in either of those? I mean, we have spoken about this too much, so it's not gone a huge amount, but would you be surprised to see Carlos Sainz in an Alpine next year, Alex?
I mean, that could happen. But I believe Williams or Stake F1 team kick Sauber so much more. Ooh, 4 more or 5, you can say. 5 more fishes, and then it's time to go down to the basement and place down all the fishes in the collection.
I mean, I still think he's going to be in an Audi next year. I think, well, I'd love him to be in a Red Bull because I think that's tremendously more interesting. And going back to the Perez-Tsunoda discussion, as I put in that piece that I wrote, Sainz is a clear upgrade on both of them.
Yeah, if he goes to Audi, then Esteban Ogone will 100% go to Haas. If they don't want Kevin Magnussen. Because I believe Williams will not want to have Ocon in the team. Light grey, white. I mean, they want a team player. And not someone that will crash out the teammate.
But yeah, no, I think Audi's still the most likely one, simply because it's just, the sort of more sensible option. You could probably earn more money there as well. You would have thought, given the sort of the manufacturer might of Audi. But equally, Sainz and his camp have been completely open that they are talking to every team, and I'm fairly sure that will have included well, in fact, I know that included Williams as well. So yeah, it's every team that they were there. It's the sensible thing to do. All the options, you want to sound them out. So I don't think that's necessarily like a totally ridiculous sort of why are they out, why are they doing that, is that his last resort sort of thing. So no, I think still what you'd expect from Sainz. Audi obviously still the best available option, and he's still hoping out.
They are the best in the sense of money you can get. Remember, so long the contract you can get, and maybe really good future-proofing future for you. But the car you will be driving the next year, that is not fun. And here we have the orange-grey fish. Let's see if we can find the... Yeah, stripy. There we have. Red, black, and orange, grey.
That something will change at Red Bull. And look, we're going to Monaco next week. Where what did Sergio Perez do in Q1 there? Biffed it straight into the barriers, which is interesting when Christian Horner goes today. He always goes very well at Monaco, or does he, Christian?
No! And it didn't. It got even worse. He got outqualified in LA. He didn't get past Q1. And then he crashed in lap 1 because of Kevin Magnussen. So he didn't have a good Monaco race. Could you say he had the best race in Monaco? I mean, he could end the race turn 1, eller not turn 1. After turn 1, you can say. And then you can just go and chill, like not Bottas. Kimi Räikkönen did one race. Instead of, I mean, even if he didn't crash, he would have been driving outside the points for the whole race. And probably not being even close getting points, so the crash maybe was something positive for him.
He definitely didn't last year.
So one more fish.
Things could change. Things
for
could
the
change.
collection.
And as we understand, you know, end of the month is the option for Sainz to decide whether he does go to Audi. So what can change between now and then?
I can't remember the word you used at the beginning, JBL, but we've had Biff to end this podcast, and we had another word at the beginning which was just as eloquent as well. So, gents, thank you very much. What was it again?
Thwomp.
Thwomp and Biff. We've had both of those. Great stuff.
I also used lambasted, which I think is an excellent word.
That is a very good shenanigans. I haven't used that at all, but I love that word. Listen, gents, thank you very much indeed. Monaco's coming up next week, so we should join one of you, both of you. Not sure. We'll find out in a few days' time. But JBL, enjoy the rest of your evening over there in Italy. Are you up to much?
I've got a very long report to write, but first, after this, a little bit of dinner first, and then straight on to the hard yards.
One more fish.
Look, there we go. Before we disappear, though, let's have a quick look at the standings, shall we? Well, unsurprisingly, Max Verstappen is leading the championship. 161 points ahead of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Then it's Perez, the other Red Bull, in third.
Yeah, Perez have fallen down so much more. He's 5 now, I think. What the fuck? There we have it. Drive standings. Is yeah, 5th. But he just need one more point, and then he need to score one more point in qualifiers next race, and then he will is before. Wonder if Yuki Tsunoda can get past Fernando Alonso. Back to the video.
Pick up that, doesn't he? Lando Norris in 4th with 101 points now. Only 4 drivers in the 3-digit point at this stage here. Carlos Sainz 93, then Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Alonso and Tsunoda. Go all the way down the list there. You see Zhou Guanyu and Alexander Albon, Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Logan Sargent still yet.
I mean, that's somewhat funny. Logan Sargent P21.
The score. And
just because Oliver Behrman.
Look, well, it looks like this. Red Bull leading the way, unsurprisingly, 268 points. They're ahead of Ferrari in 2nd, McLaren in 3rd. They are starting to stretch that gap. Mercedes in 4th, Aston Martin still in 5th, but RB closing it up there in 6th place. Still down the bottom, Williams and Sauber yet to register any points. Well, there we have it. We're going to disappear for, well, I don't know how long, a week, because we're going to be in Monaco next time out. Hopefully you can join us then. Make sure you join us for all the Monaco coverage. And also, next weekend, it's the Indy 500 as well. 2
that was boring.
We're going to have all the coverage for you. I'll see you soon.
4 hours of wait time. And then it ends with the Newgarden winning again. Man, so boring. But yeah, I want to see what what kind of memes was made from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And of course it's the funniest twist from 2024 Imola Grand Prix. The Monaco had maybe 3 somewhat funny tweets. So let's see how many tweets there will be funny this time.
Hello everybody and
Shit. So loud.
welcome back to the funniest tweets. Today is the
It should be the funniest tweet, because almost just one that are actually funny.
Emilia Romagna Grand Prix edition, or the Imola GP, whatever you want to call it. The track that is old school, enriched in history, and gave us, until Lando Norris decided to go very quickly, one of the worst races for quite some time. However, your reactions were, of course...
Really? Why people think that was so bad?
amazing. So let's dive into them right now. Biggest flop.
Biggest? No. Let's say Sir Paris is the biggest flop. I mean, I just look at Monaco. That is even bigger flop.
Now, I had to include this segment purely because a lot of you that listen to our podcast or watch us on YouTube, and you would have seen that there is a biggest flop prediction in our podcast where both myself and Tommy, just on vibes, decide to pick a certain driver. I am now on my way to 7 out of 7 for picking drivers that have flopped during a weekend, and Perez being the latest addition to that list. And there's lots of memes that you have all made, so let's look at them now. The first
Yeah, let's see how funny they are.
one, Sports with L.
Okay.
Sad little life, Matt. You ruined my race. Sergio Perez, it was over 50 seconds, I think, that he was behind Max Verstappen at the end. Had a weekend to forget. I don't think he's missed out on Q3 at all this year. And then I brought my little vibes to the table. And then Perez went, no, I won't make Q3. And then had an incident as well, didn't he? Into Ravazza, went off the track. And it was just a weekend to forget. I am so sorry, Checo fans. It is...
Monaco was maybe even bigger. But...
It was an accident. I don't mean to do it. I'm just looking for points. At Joe Goat 6p, Perez this weekend.
Okay, sure.
Pick Matt's curse streak or straight down to the biggest flop. Now, Tommy is, of course, not here for the podcast this weekend, but I will absolutely categorically, spoiler alert, be giving myself a point. At the real Mukris, I told you there were lots of different memes here.
Yeah, true. Doesn't mean you have to pick every bad meme.
Perez trying to break Matt's biggest flop curse on him. And then I was You Shall Not Pass. I can't believe it, because you would have thought they were in two completely different teams. Max Verstappen won the race. Of course, it wasn't easy, and Lando really did try and catch him right at the end. Perez, I did feel a little bit sorry. I felt like Red Bull just left him out there hoping for a VSC or a safety car, but his pace was just absolutely nowhere. And then the curse will come for all of them in 2024 eventually. I think I have chosen Perez before, so again, I'm sorry to do it again. But the memes were absolutely fantastic with this. We've got 2 more. At Mr. Idiot.
Fuck me.
Who do you have in mind for this week? Perez, deal. Very good, Mr. Idiot. And then finally on this, Anjan_PN, 7 in 7 cannot be a coincidence. And then biggest flop of the weekend. There you go.
So
can I make it 8 of
tweets.
8 in Monaco? I know a lot of you will be saying that I should absolutely put Charles Leclerc as biggest flop because he always has terrible luck around Monaco, but I would never do that to him. I'm wearing a Ferrari top, so I'll be picking...
Storytel Original presenterar Andre 3000, Sara Klang, Fred again, Annika Norlin,
Yep.
och Benjamin Ingrosso.
Nice.
Bli en del av artisterna, bara på Storytel.
5, 2, 107, 503, 800, Skellefteåkraft.
And someone else.
Can we have
Lando
funny quiz,
catching.
please?
Now, the biggest talking point has to be Lando Norris, out of nowhere, catching Max Verstappen at the end. We all thought it was done, dusted, curtains for the race.
One more fish.
Max looked like he was fully in control, especially in the medium tyres at the start. Lando's not going to catch him. In the hard tyres, and the gap kind of stagnates and sort of sits around 6-7 seconds. And then Lando just starts flying. At Inferno the Fox. Norris catching Verstappen with 10 laps to go. Verstappen still wins the race.
I mean, should this be funny? Isn't this just depressing?
One more lap. Maybe 2. He was 0.7 of a second coming out of the final corner. Oh, he would have had a chance. And I am convinced that Lando and Max wouldn't have been friends.
White and pink.
After that, if we'd had one more lap, I think Max gets his elbows out to the
Yeah, it's
maximum.
time to go down to the basement now.
But instead, we are just living in the hypothetical. But what an ending to the race. It definitely went from like a 2 to a 4 or 5, maybe?
Why is so much hate? Man, I must have seen some other race, because I like the race. Maybe not a lot happened, but the stuff that could have happened against Ferrari, McLaren, and then Red Bull and McLaren.
At Not Toxic LP, Max for the first time in years. Well, he kind of lost in Miami, but I get what you...
Yeah, this we can say is somewhat funny. I mean, it is, at least you can call it funny than whatever the other 4 minutes had.
You mean he was genuinely being caught without having damage and just generally having not great pace with the hard tires.
Yeah, quite now. We have 18, 24, 24, 30, 36. Can it be 40? 40. Let's see. 13, so 76 plus 40. Did I count that right? 18, 20, 22, 24, 30, 36, 40. And now we'll see how many... 1376. How many of these fishes will be copies?
There was, when you were riding on board with Lando in those last few laps, you could tell he was on the ragged edge. The amount of little corrections he was making, he was going right to the limit with the gravel. He sent it for the race victory, and you've got to appreciate it. He got sassy on the radio as well. Lando was dialed in, and it gives me, and I'm going to say this out loud, genuine hope that we could see some more race winners that aren't Max Verstappen this year. And
it could
that
happen.
might sound like, oh, is that really that much to get excited for? Yes, because I thought 2024 was a wrap. I thought Red Bull would do what they did last year and just win pretty much everything. But we've actually...
They will more or less do that. They will just not win equally much, but they will almost win
You've got
so
other
much.
teams catching. McLaren being the biggest one. Ferrari not so much. Where's the upgrades? But we're going...
Yeah, where is Mercedes? Will they get a podium this year? Probably
on
not.
to that. But still, McLaren, Silverstone, is on. At F1 Friends 2023, Lando Max action got me like, quite literally. I'm sure everybody was just laying there going, oh, another 20 laps to go. I remember looking at the lap counter with about 25 laps to go. Of course, we're live on Twitch, Matt P1 Tommy doing our watch-alongs. But I just thought, wow, that's going to be another 25 minutes of just praying that something will happen. And it just slowly but surely started teasing us. But didn't give us I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Something that we were looking for.
Oh, fuck me. This is one funny tweet, right? Lando Max action got me like, oh yeah, sure. Super funny.
At Tim DF588, another similar one this race so far, but it's Mr. Bean. And I feel like that, yeah, the moment.
This is perfect for Monaco, but yes, still I don't see the funny.
That Mr. Bean sort of wakes up and realises it's the time that Lando Norris starts to take 0.8 of a second out of Max Verstappen, and we all start to believe that championship is back on.
Fuck me.
It's probably
it
not,
be blue.
But we can dream, right? Honourable mentions. Right, quite a few honourable mentions this week, just dotted around from different things. First one comes in from at Mr. Bear 15, Alonso's car this weekend.
Okay. That's maybe too fast, but sure. But funny, nope.
And Fernando Alonso, what has happened these last couple of race weekends? A lot of people talking. We have Alex Jakes on the podcast, and he makes a good point that Fernando pushing the car that is clearly going backwards to the limits and beyond, trying to get something amazing out of the car and clearly pushing too hard. But still, a very uncharacteristic performance from Alonso. Tommy's on holiday, so I can't even slander directly to Tommy. He's not on the podcast. But just a strange one, and it's Aston Martin were in Formula A. They are now in Formula B. That top 8 car position.
Formula A? I think they are Formula C, but sure.
Top 10 car position has now shrunk to top 8, and then it's game on behind. Points have now become actually a possibility for the likes of Haas, and then you've got RB as well. So I guess for the midfield, it's a good thing. At Joancy_, the moving fast chicane. Checo to Hamilton, Minister of Defence. Checo to anyone else, off you go. Now, I think this is a coincidence. I don't.
Okay.
I think Checo looks in his mirrors and goes, it's 2021 again. I need to defend from Hamilton like it. My life and career depends on it. But it's mad how he literally was like, no, you are not coming through, Hamilton.
Man, did that happen? No memory from that either. What the fuck?
But then perhaps it was just purely because he thought he was going to battle him. That would have been very wishful thinking if he did think that, because he finished, 25 seconds behind the Mercedes? The medium tyres did not switch on, or at least Perez did not switch on in that second stint when Red Bull decided to finally pit him after one of the slowest stints ever. But yes, Checo still showing he's got his defensive manoeuvres, but then Imola. I love it. It's basically Monaco. It is. You can't really overtake. It's amazing to watch in qualifying. You've got mistakes punished everywhere, but at the same time, one DRS zone down to a corner that is not even, is obviously hard braking, but it's not into a hairpin. It's not into an out braking zone really, because it's quite a quick left-right. So where are they supposed to pass? Perez was basically in the whole highlight reel, falling backwards for the whole race and then going forwards a few times at the end on the medium.
So almost like a Bottas race. Always falling back, no progress, and it's always lost.
But you do wonder, why put Imola and Monaco back to back? It's just the same track, but just with slightly less walls in Imola. At Cinema Whitey, literally everyone waiting for K-Mag to cause a crash so we can get a safety car. That is true.
I'm waiting for him leaving Formula 1. That's the only thing I'm waiting for. I mean, we have Lance Stroll that can do this also, so...
True, I saw it a lot in our Twitch chat when K-Mag and I...
Also, what the funniest tweet? Eller tweets. This funny.
Zhou were fighting for a position that definitely wasn't for points. You did wonder whether there was going to be just a little K-Mag punt. He would have seen in his mind's eye behind that fluorescent green Alpha car
Fuck me.
a weekend at home with his family when the Monaco Grand Prix is on. One little punt and he's getting 2 points and he's race banned. But instead didn't.
Yeah, look at Monaco. They will never remove Kevin Magnussen from Formula 1.
Happen, although Tommy is absolutely convinced that the FIA would not follow through with a race ban because it looks terrible.
Actually true, because then Monaco happened. And he still have no race ban.
I'm not so convinced. How do you
After Monaco you should be convinced.
K-Mag punch someone before his points get taken down slightly from 10? How do you say that that's 1 point? At Honza game, Max really loves the number 25, it seems. I mean, this is fantastically spotted. A 1 hour, 25 minutes, 25 seconds, 0.252, and scored 25 points. Are we living in a simulation right now?
Maybe.
What's going on here? But love that. So well done, Honza. At F1 Dirty Side, comment.
I forgot this is not should be funny tweet. Not interesting. What do you call it? Slightly amused tweet. This is funny. For some reason.
Number 25, it seems. I mean, this is fantastically spotted. A 1 hour, 25 minutes, 25 seconds, 0.252,
True.
and scored 25 points.
Still not funny.
Are we living in a simulation right now? What's going on here? But love that.
Interesting,
so well done,
but not funny.
At F1 Dirty Side, commentators trying to make the battles interesting for the first 20 laps. I mean, it was quite uneventful, wasn't it, to say the least?
Fuck me, this... Yeah, funny tweets. So, yeah, this was funny. The mirror stuff look smaller in the mirror when what they actually are, and then you see Norris much bigger in real life. Still the only one that I would say is actually funny. Yeah, we have 5 minutes more.
It was I was just sat there trying to extract any kind of battle. Of course, Piastri was looking quite quick on side.
I mean, it was Charles Leclerc against Norris, McLaren versus Ferrari. What more? I mean, what more do you need?
But he was stuck there. He got close a couple of moments, but well, I mean, one of those moments where he got close, the camera angle was straight at a tree.
Oh, fuck me.
And then you...
Light grey. Let's see. Light grey. Do we have one? Nope. Oh shit, I need to soon place one more chest here. It should be 15. So 6. Hur många har det? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Yeah. One chest, one more row of to say chest over it is needed.
You saw them come into shot into turn 1. Speaking of cameras and things like that and the production, what was going on with the graphics? The graphics were having a meltdown. At some point, it came up with Hamilton.
I think it's always have a meltdown. As soon as someone trying to get past someone or the name or the whatever just moves and disappear, and it's weird.
Having a pit lane start. Who are pressing these go live buttons? What are we doing here? Like, some things just weren't loading correctly. Pit lane limiter things were just carrying on counting. It's very important for Formula One fans to be staring at data. I find that. If I'm watching a race and I can't see the intervals, I basically feel like I'm watching with one eye. Do you know what I mean? Do you feel that as well? Like, if I don't have that data...
I would say somewhat true. I mean, if you don't see how far away someone is to someone, I mean, you can't even think, I don't know, will an overtake happen or not? Or like what tie they are on. You know, so much information that you will just not know.
At the very least, or with qualifying, you don't have the sectors. You just feel like you're watching a practice session.
Yeah,
At
true.
X, Y
Light
tricks.
blue,
You know, not a
blue.
lot is happening in an F1 race when the commentator starts talking about the weather.
Yeah, well, what the fuck did they talk about on Monaco then?
Which remains
It was funny tweet. Fuck me.
unchanged the entire race. It's a shame, actually, isn't it, that the weather didn't come in. Obviously, great that we had a race. So happy to see Imola back in action. But a little sprinkling, that would have been fun, wouldn't it? Imagine that in the last 10 laps.
Happened in the IndyCar. And it did nothing.
Max struggling. I know, I'm creating a
Light
false image,
grey
a false hope,
line.
a dream of what a better race around Imola would have been. But it was forecast for a lot of the
Boring.
time. And I even predicted it as my crazy prediction. It didn't come true. Even though everyone was like, how did you get it? There's a crazy prediction. Well, it didn't come true, so I didn't even get a point. But yeah, very sunny, normal day. At Will Pascoe 14, commentators, 100% chance of a safety
Okay, funny. No.
car. Safety car. How about no? I don't know if 100%.
How about this funniest tweets is not funny? How
chance
about
of a
that?
safety car. I think what they were trying to say is that there's been a safety car 100% of the time before. That doesn't make it that it's going to be a 100%
grey,
chance this
grey.
weekend, because we didn't get to see
So
one.
boring.
And would it have spiced up the race? Well, yes, actually.
Purple,
Yeah, it would,
brown.
wouldn't it? Because
Oh, it could be like in was it Miami? Lando Norris get an... Oh my god, they could have done... Instead of waiting 5 seconds all the time getting near Max Verstappen, the safety car could have put him directly behind him. And then every lap he tried to get near Max Verstappen, he could just try to overtake him. It will be a sprint on the of the race.
when I was thinking about that and the pit stops had happened, you just thought, all right, if there's a safety car, Max will drive away and it'll be status quo.
No.
But the last 15 laps showed that if we did get a little safety car, Lando Norris would have been a
purple.
back-to-back winner. But instead, 0.7 of a second. McLaren fans, how are we feeling? I bet you can't believe that a first and a second...
I think McLaren fans are really happy. More happy than what Mercedes fans will ever be.
And you're feeling slightly disappointed after this weekend. Ridiculous.
Why?
At Boucher 3, whenever Max has a runaway lead and the footage randomly switches to him to show that he does indeed exist. This was obviously done before Max started getting caught.
Oh shit. Funny tweets. Still. No. Yes.
And our beliefs, our ambitions just
Green, brown.
grew intensely. And now I believe we've got a McLaren versus Ferrari versus Red Bull fight for the championship for the next however many races we've got.
Oh.
Galbani, smaken av dolce.
Actually a funny tweet.
Är det grävlingen som kommer?
Oh shit.
Ja, det är
More
det.
funny tweets. Oh my god, that's somewhat depressing. The ads on the video is more funny than most played. Okay, let's see
That's a
what
bit too
that
much,
can
isn't it?
be.
Max is going to win by a mile. But it's Monaco next.
Man, the hype for that race.
I'm putting every egg in
You did right. Leclerc won.
these wonderful people's baskets.
Fuck me, oh no. Oh, this will be so fucking lame. It's fucking tasteless, lame tweet.
Right,
And this is fucking most played. Oh, fuck
now
me.
Tommy's tasty tweet time, but Tommy is not here because Tommy's on holiday, so it's actually Matt's
Man, this looks like the France flag. Just because it's so blue here.
tasty tweet time. And we've gone for at Duchon to dope. When the world needed them.
Okay. By the way, should this be funny? I mean, I say rip. So you can call this the depressing tweet. The most depressing tweet ever.
Most. They vanished.
This could made Lando Norris win one more race. And it didn't happen. Should that be funny?
That is a great
Fuck
meme.
no.
I love that. I love the
That's
compilation
depressing.
you've gone for there, even though, yeah, one of those cars is in absolute tatters. So I'm glad that that didn't happen. But the red and the yellow flags and the safety cars, the VSCs, the
Fuck me, and this was the most played. Fuck
general
me.
just unknown just didn't happen. They just vanished. And it
Sign
would have given us a
for-
Lando Norris win, but great meme. Love it. Is that a Lion King meme? A Lion King template? Maybe? I'm not sure. But either or, thanks.
Oh, you retarded. Fucking Lion King. It's the fucking most famous thing ever. It's the fucking Avatar. It's when the Avatar is vanished. Holy fuck, his knowledge about Formula 1 is equally good as on the Avatar. Fuck me. And the 4 elements. Okay, that I actually don't know if it's trying to show the 4 elements, but it's 4 pictures. Oh my god.
Absolute tat. Unknown. Just a Lion King template, maybe?
Yeah, Lion King. Wow.
I'm not sure. But either or, thanks so much to Sean. You win a copy of F124 when it launches. Big thanks to EA for that one.
Yeah, sure.
Right, that is it.
Fuck
Thank you
that.
so much for watching the funniest tweets to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Yeah, true. That was so funny. No. I mean, I've seen really depressing tweets that are more funny than this was. So-called dark humor. It's so sad. You can only laugh at it, but this was. Oh, fuck me. No. Fuck you. Oh my god. I mean, the race was so much more interesting than fucking what that was now. Fuck me. Okay, no, fuck me, no. Let's finish this off. Fucking Clayfish. So we can see how many brown cyan. Brown. Why? Why so many fishes that are copies? Oh my god, this is so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are up to 10 copies of fishes, and we're not starting with the fucking strip, the S fishes and K and the J fishes. Let's. Oh my god, so many copies. No, I can't even. Okay, briny, clayfish. That one we can bring back. And I bring. And then we remove that one. That one. Dasher. Dasher. Then we have the glitter. Oh, many cob. And flopper. So many loose Hamilton fishes. Okay, light blue, white. Light blue, white. Nope. Wait, light gray. Yeah, we're light gray. And what? White, light gray, white. Nice. And white gray. Okay. It's time for Lewis Hamilton. He's flopping around in the Mercedes car. Orange, gray. Boring. The fuck? What did I look for? Oh yeah, there's the flop. Orange Magnanta, det är väl Orange Magnanta. Black, gray. Magnanta, light, gray. So many copies. Oh my god, this will be so depressing if this continue even more. White, gray. Coming to get into 2700 would take so much time. If I get so much copies. White, gray. white pink. Cyan yellow. It's Cobb. Okay, time for the glitter fish. Green, grey green. Nice. And then we lime yellow. White, brown. Cyan red. God damn it. Cyan orange. Why? So many. Purple lime. Green, orange. I hear you, folks. You don't need to scream. Red Cobb. Red light gray. Oh, cyan. Back to the science stuff. Science. Gonna catch them all. Fishemon. Cyan yellow. And there will be something for Ash Ketchum instead of just trying to get every Pokemon. Oh, that could be something. Oh, all shinies. That could be the future for Pokemon. After collecting every Pokemon, he now trying to find every shiny Pokemon that exists. I mean, I said they're gonna catch them all, so why not? Snooper. No sunstreak. Red, pink. Nice. Red light gray. Brown light gray. Light gray. Brown. Oh my god. How many fucking is this now? 3, 6, 15, 21 fish. Oh my god. 21. I feel like it's a record of how many fishes that I picked up was a copy. Brown, light blue. Lime cyan, back to the cyan colored fishes. Oh no, lime. Lime. Cyan red. Oh, go fuck yourself. Red black. Where do we have? Nice. Orange black. So red black, orange black. Nice. Okay, so how many? Oh, this is so depressing. 18, 24 fishes minus. And even more depressing. Now it's time to doing the most boring stuff ever. Let's do one more round of looking at the fishes to 100% make sure I've not fucked it up. White. Lime. Nice. Cyan. Lime. Wait the fuck. White. White lime. Cyan lime. I mean, you never know if the first time you looked at a fish you did the right thing. Red, pink. But they're doing the last, looking for the fishes one more time. Goes usually fast. Because you just look for the fish that is the copy. So not so much work for it. Light blue, light blue. Light gray. Light gray. Purple brown. Green brown. What the fuck? Oh, purple brown. It was purple, not brown. Okay, green brown. Green. Time for the clayfish. Cyan purple. Man, so much brown. Brown, cyan. White, gray. Orange magenta. Black, gray. Magenta light gray. White, pink. This is so boring. At least when there's so many fishes I need to go through. Fuck me. I mean, usually it's just on a ton or something. At least under 20. Not over 20. Cyan red. Cyan orange. Purple on the scope. Purple lime. Red light gray. Oh fuck me, red is here. Red, light gray. Cyan, yellow. Spotty brown. Oh, fuck me, the snooper. Spotty brown. Brown, light gray, brown, light gray. Brown, brown again. Light blue. Lime cyan. Cyan red. Oh, this was so boring. And everyone was a copy. Minus 18, 20, 20, 24. Minus 24. 50, 24, so 54, 52. Minus 24. So we is more than we are past the halfway. Oh shit, minus one. Should be. And that is because of this one, Cub Blue. That was also a copy. So 1351. And now we will release all the fishes that are on copy. Let's see. Yeah, and tomorrow practice in Formula 1 will happen. Or you can say Formula 1 weekend will start. White lime. Cyan lime. Red pink. Light blue blue. Light gray green, light gray, purple brown, green brown, cyan purple, brown cyan, white gray, orange magenta, black gray, magenta light gray, white pink. And it will be in Canada. Probably a Max Verstappen win. But Ferrari and McLaren will be up there. Mercedes will still be bad. I mean, that's... I mean, the future for Mercedes, what will that be? You know, they are bad now. Next year we'll lose Hamilton, leave. How many people? Oh, one fish for the collection. Yeah, come on. I mean, if people from Mercedes leaves to Ferrari, and if the amazing thing happen and a new joins Williams, how many people from Mercedes will go down to Williams? And when will Toto Wolff feel like, man, maybe I should just sell the team? He's just going more downhill than ever before. Yeah, but hey, will we see anything news happen? Will we see any new going to a team? Will Alpine say who will be driving in Alpine? Will we learn where Esteban Ogone will go? Probably not, because Color Science have not said anything yet. Yeah, shut up, cats. Okay, but we will. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow. So in how many hours can that be? Oh fuck! The cats, man, they are screaming. Where do we have it? Come on. Fuck, I hate this. It's working so fucking bad. For some reason they are programming this so bad. So if you share on anything on the Viaplay fucking streaming service, like everything like is so fucked up when you're trying to do something else. Just go into your like your history or your playlist where you saved everything. You can't, if you search on anything, you can't go there because I don't know, it's so fucking weird. Okay, so in this is okay 1 day, but man, okay, so in 1 day and 14 hours the practice will start. So maybe you can say in 2 days. So between then and now, maybe some more news will happen. Maybe not, but we will see tomorrow or today or whenever.